Hello, please join us where we delve into the unsettling but important topic of the world's 10 most dangerous cities. Now, before you pack your bags for your dream vacation or consider a life-altering move, it's crucial to be informed about the potential risks involved. We're about to embark on a journey to some of the most volatile corners of the globe, highlighting the cities where personal safety might require a bit more vigilance than usual. Think of it like a travel advisory, but instead of just telling you not to drink the water, we're giving you the lowdown on places where you might want to avoid puddles altogether. Stay with us, because what you're about to learn might just save you a whole lot of trouble, or at the very least prepare you for your next around the world in 80 risks adventure. First up, we find ourselves in Caracas, Venezuela, a city as beautiful as it is troubled. Let's be clear, Venezuela wasn't always this way. It was once a thriving South American nation, but years of political instability and economic turmoil have left it teetering on the brink. This instability has unfortunately created a breeding ground for violent crime. From kidnappings to armed robberies, Caracas has sadly earned its spot on this list. Now, we're not saying don't visit Caracas. It's a city with a rich culture and resilient people, but it's important to acknowledge the realities on the ground. Traveling there requires a heightened sense of awareness and careful planning. Perhaps stick to well-populated areas and avoid flashing expensive jewelry. You know, the usual common sense stuff that sadly becomes even more critical in a city grappling with such challenges. Next, we journey to Cape Town, South Africa, a city renowned for its stunning natural beauty, but also grappling with a darker side. While tourists flock to Table Mountain and the Cape of Good Hope, it's important to remember that this picturesque city is also plagued by gang violence. These gangs, often vying for control of territory and resources, contribute to the city's high murder rate. Don't let this deter you from experiencing the magic of Cape Town entirely. Like any major city, awareness is key. Be mindful of your surroundings, especially in areas known for gang activity. Research your accommodation options thoroughly, and consider sticking to well-lit and populated areas, particularly at night. Remember, a little vigilance goes a long way in ensuring a safe and enjoyable trip. Our next stop takes us to Tijuana, Mexico, a bustling border city that's become synonymous with the drug trade. Situated just south of California, Tijuana has found itself caught in the crosshairs of the war on drugs. The cartel's presence is undeniable, and with it comes the violence that often defines these organizations. Now, before you write off Tijuana as a no-go zone, remember that millions of people visit each year without incident. However, it's crucial to exercise caution and be aware of your surroundings. Avoid areas known for drug activity and be particularly careful at night. If you're looking for a taste of Mexican culture, stick to the city's safer tourist zones and consider venturing out with a reputable tour group. We now find ourselves in Karachi, Pakistan, a bustling metropolis that's no stranger to political unrest. Unfortunately, this unrest often spills over into the streets, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. From targeted attacks to bombings, Karachi has sadly witnessed its fair share of violence. The key to navigating Karachi safely is to stay informed, pay close attention to local news, and heed any travel advisories issued by your government. Avoid large gatherings and demonstrations, as these can quickly escalate into violence. And if you're unsure about a particular area, it's always best to err on the side of caution and avoid it altogether. Our journey now takes us to San Pedro Sula, Honduras, a city grappling with a severe gang problem. These gangs, often vying for control of drug trafficking routes, have turned San Pedro Sula into one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Extortion, kidnappings, and murders are tragically commonplace here. Navigating San Pedro Sula requires extreme caution. Avoid traveling alone, especially at night. Be wary of strangers and refrain from displaying any signs of wealth. If you must travel to San Pedro Sula, consider hiring a reputable security detail and stick to well-guarded areas. Our next stop takes us to Baghdad, Iraq, a city indelibly marked by years of conflict. While the situation has improved somewhat in recent years, Baghdad remains a volatile place. Terrorist attacks, bombings, and sectarian violence are still a very real threat. Traveling to Baghdad is not for the faint of heart. It requires careful planning, constant vigilance, and a healthy dose of risk assessment. Check your government's travel advisories, consider hiring private security, and be prepared for the unexpected. We now find ourselves in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a city renowned for its beaches, carnival, and unfortunately, its high crime rate. While tourists flock to Copacabana and Ipanema, it's important to remember that Rio is also home to vast slums or favelas, where poverty and crime are rampant. To stay safe in Rio, be mindful of your surroundings. Avoid flashing expensive jewelry or electronics, and be particularly careful at night. If you're planning on visiting the favelas, consider going with a reputable tour group. Next, we journey to Baltimore, Maryland, a city with a rich history and culture, but also facing a serious crime problem. From drug-related violence to gang activity, Baltimore has struggled to shed its reputation as one of America's most dangerous cities. While there are certainly safe and vibrant neighborhoods in Baltimore, it's important to be aware of the challenges the city faces. Exercise caution, especially at night, and be mindful of your surroundings. Research your accommodation options thoroughly and consider sticking to well-lit and populated areas. Our penultimate stop takes us to Guatemala City, Guatemala, a city grappling with the effects of gang violence and drug trafficking. Like many Central American cities, Guatemala City has become a transit point for drugs moving north, leading to a surge in violence. Navigating Guatemala City requires a high degree of caution. Avoid traveling alone, especially at night, and be wary of strangers. Stick to well-lit and populated areas, and consider hiring a reputable security detail if you're concerned about your safety. Our final destination takes us to Acapulco, Mexico, a once glamorous resort town that's fallen victim to drug violence. While tourists still flock to Acapulco's beaches, they do so under the shadow of heavily armed security forces. Despite its beauty, Acapulco is a city where caution is paramount. Avoid traveling alone, especially at night, and be mindful of your surroundings. Stick to tourist areas and avoid venturing into unfamiliar territory. So there you have it, our whirlwind tour of 10 of the world's most dangerous cities. From the streets of Caracas to the beaches of Acapulco, we've seen firsthand the challenges these cities face. But remember, knowledge is power. By being informed about the risks and taking appropriate precautions, you can minimize your chances of encountering trouble. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or planning your first trip abroad, it's crucial to prioritize your safety. Research your destination thoroughly, stay informed about local conditions, and trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't be afraid to change your plans or seek help if you need it. Remember, the world is a vast and wonderful place full of incredible experiences waiting to be had. By staying informed, staying vigilant, and using common sense, you can explore it safely and responsibly. Happy travels!